This is the Professor, CBMD PhD. It's Saturday, August 8, 2026. It is 4:08 and 5 seconds, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today's research, quantum entanglement. So let's hop to it here. Sunlight creates quantum entanglement, once thought to require lasers. Scientists have turned ordinary sunlight into a source of quantum entanglement, opening a surprising path toward greener and more accessible quantum technology. Date August 7, 2026. Source, Optica. The researchers and scientific investigators have generated quantum entanglement directly from sunlight, potentially offering a lower energy alternative to the lasers normally used in quantum technology. Their outdoor experiment produced entangled photons with about 94% similarity to an ideal state. The result could pave the way for simpler quantum satellites, secure communications, and more energy-efficient quantum computing. Many of today's quantum technologies depend on powerful lasers that consume significant amounts of energy. As these systems grow larger and more widespread, their electricity requirements could become an increasing concern. Researchers have now demonstrated a striking alternative. Sunlight itself can be used to generate quantum entanglement between photons. Quantum entanglement is crucial for applications such as secure communications, ultra-precise sensing, and high-performance computation. Our work shows that abundant natural light sources can be used for quantum entanglement, opening the possibility of more energy-efficient and accessible quantum technology. This technology could one day enable satellites to create secure encryption keys using the sunlight already abundant in space, reducing the need for onboard lasers and much of the supporting hardware. Sunlight-driven entanglement generation could also provide the crucial ingredient needed to scale up quantum computing without adding to the energy burden. Scientists have traditionally believed that producing the strong correlations needed for photon entanglement requires coherent light. In coherent light, the waves remain synchronized so that their peaks and valleys follow a predictable pattern. Lasers are commonly used for this purpose because they generate highly coherent light concentrated at a single color. Earlier research from the team began to challenge that assumption. The researchers predicted theoretically and then demonstrated experimentally that incoherent light could also generate quantum entanglement. In those experiments, they used an LED, an incoherent light source, to produce polarization entangled photons. Those results established an important principle. Light can be disordered in one characteristic, such as the directions in which it travels, while still creating photons that are entangled through another characteristic, such as polarization. The new work pushes that concept further by replacing the LED with sunlight. Sunlight presents a much greater challenge because it spreads in many directions and contains a wide spectrum of color. To generate the entangled photons, the researchers relied on spontaneous parametric down conversion. In this established optical process, a pump beam enters a nonlinear crystal, where individual photons can split into pairs that may become quantum entangled. Rather than using the conventional laser pump, the team supplied the system with sunlight. The sunlight was strongly polarized while remaining highly incoherent across both space and time. Its overall light field oscillated in the same direction, even though it contained photons of different colors, traveling along many different paths. They designed the experiment setup so that differences introduced by the different colors and propagation directions didn't influence the photon's polarization. As the theory predicts, if the entanglement lives only in polarization, then it should only depend on the pump's orderliness and its oscillation direction, and not on its direction or color. This allowed them to produce high-quality polarization entanglement from highly spatially and temporary incoherent sunlight. Getting enough sunlight onto the extremely small nonlinear crystal created another major obstacle. The crystal measures only about a millimeter in size, making ordinary methods of collecting sunlight impractical. The research team addressed the problem by designing an all-glass solar concentrator. The cone-shaped system collects sunlight with a Fresnel lens approximately the size of a household window and channels that light into an optical fiber about as wide as a human hair. The concentrated sunlight can then be directed onto the tiny nonlinear crystal responsible for producing the entangled photon. The researchers tested both their theoretical predictions and a new concentrator during an outdoor experiment. They used quantum state tomography to analyze the resulting quantum state and found that the entanglement produced with sunlight was about 94%, similar to a perfectly entangled state. The team also found that the photons displayed correlations that violate Bell's inequality. That result is especially important because such correlations cannot be explained by classical physics and instead provide evidence that genuine quantum entanglement was produced. With the proof of principle experiment successfully completed, the researchers are now working toward a system that could eventually be used outside the laboratory. Their efforts are focused on increasing brightness and further improving the quality of the entanglement. The experiment relied on spontaneous parametric down conversion, but the researchers say the underlying approach could also work with other nonlinear optical techniques, including four-wave mixing. Expanding the concept to additional methods could create new possibilities across quantum photonics. The result also overcame significant doubts with the scientific community about whether sunlight could realistically drive the process. Since the inception of this project, our idea has met with repeated doubt and pushback. Some world-renowned researchers in the field even questioned whether it would be possible to detect any photons, not to mention entangled photons, from sunlight-driven nonlinear optical processes. However, we trusted our calculations, continued improving the experimental setup, and eventually showed that it was possible. And this videography was created for educational purposes only. My code name is Will. I'm Professor Christopher Brunet, leader of research scientist, ufologist, psychic, computer technician, computer programmer, philanthropist, writer, mathematician, artist, photographer, film producer, chef, animal, and nature lover. My passion is world peace. Have a great day. This is the Professor, CBMD, PhD. Today's Saturday, August 8th.